everyone, and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. It is the release of a new patch, which brings about some changes, including, once again, the addition of a new hero. First off, before I get into it, I want to apologize in advance. I am currently under the weather, as you probably heard from my Stukov video, so I am battling a cold at the moment, so I apologize for how my voice is probably going to sound, but the show must go on. Besides, I have been really anticipating this, really looking forward to this, really excited about it, because finally they have released another hero who I got to try out at BlizzCon along with Varian, and I loved this guy. And when it was announced at BlizzCon, it shocked me. I did not anticipate that he was going to be announced for this game, and I was very pleasantly surprised. And as you can see, it is Ragnaros, the Fire Lord. As the Lord of Azeroth's fire elementals, Ragnaros desires nothing more than to burn the world to ash. Banished to the Firelands eons ago, the Fire Lord now turns his rage toward the Nexus, intent on incinerating everything and everyone within it. So yeah, if you are someone who is very familiar with WoW, you probably know a lot about Ragnaros, and of course him being a raid boss. I sadly have not gotten to actually experience playing that raid myself. I can only go by what I've heard other people say and what I've seen footage of. Hopefully someday I'll get to experience it myself. Alright, so let's get down to it. What is he like? Well, to my very huge surprise, I expected he was going to be a specialist based on what I initially saw when they showed him at BlizzCon, but it turns out he's actually a melee assassin. Yeah, which is kind of interesting when I show you what his kit has. But first, let's take a look at his skins. This is his basic look here. I recommend you go check out the Hero Deep Dive panel that they had at BlizzCon, where they actually go into detail about how they were initially trying to design how Ragnaros was going to play in this game. They ended up coming with this, which I am very glad they decided to go with it. It's very cool. This is how he moves around. This is his, some people criticize this, that he's, his color tints, they're really, like, just, they said, they're just different shades of orange. But, I'm not opposed to that. That's okay with me. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be, like, this next one be a rainbow or something. It doesn't have to be, like, completely over the top or anything like that. To me, this is fine. I like this reddish look, this more different red one. This yellow one, it's alright. I kind of prefer the red one, showing that he's evil, or that he's angry. The madder and angrier he becomes, the more red he becomes. This is his master skin. They said they wanted spikes, more spikes all around. This is the red one. I love this one. This is awesome. The red and the yellow there. And this one, it's alright. And then little Ragnaros, this is an alternate skin. This is so cute, very hilarious. He's even got a different voice. It's kind of more high-pitched. Very cool. Definitely, you're not going to be disappointed if you want to go with that. Pick up this alternate skin here. Even a little mini version of Sulfuron. So what are his abilities like? What does he bring? So, his basic abilities. His Q is Empower Sulfurous, or not Sulfuron, Sulfurous. Ragnaros' next basic attack is instant, dealing 222 ability damage in an area, and heals for 20% of the damage dealt. Healing is doubled versus Hero, so he gets 40% of the damage that he deals as healing when he uses it against heroes, so that's going to apply if you use him a lot in team fights. It has a text there for Molten Core. I'll get to that in a second. His W is Living Meteor. Summon a meteor at the target point that deals 75 damage, then rolls in the target direction, dealing 300 damage per second for 1.75 seconds, which is a pretty nice, and it says vector targeting. It does take some targeting. It's a little tricky. It took me a little while at first when I was first trying him out at BlizzCon. It took me a little while to realize, oh, so that's how it works, And I'll show you what I mean. And then his E is Blast Wave. Ignite Ragnaros or an ally, granting 25% movement speed for 1.5 seconds before exploding, dealing 104 damage to nearby enemies. It's really not that great. I mean, the movement speed is nice, but it's very short-lived and hardly does any damage at all. And then his trait. This is where it gets fun. Molten Core. This is where you can become the raid boss. Channel on an allied or destroyed fort or keep to replace it with Ragnaros' ultimate form, temporarily gaining new abilities, having 3,996 health that burns away over 18 seconds. Ragnaros returns to his normal form upon losing all health in Molten Core. So what does his abilities become in Molten Core? Well, you saw the undertext there. Molten Swing, stun and damage nearby enemies. Meteor Shower, drop a line of meteor impacts. And Explosive Rune, cause a delayed explosion in a large area. This is fun. Now, it doesn't show the heroics. I'll get to that in a moment. Let's take a look at his talent tree. We've got a couple quests here at level 1. We've got Sulphurous Hungers. Every time you kill a minion with Empower Sulphurous, its damage is increased by 1 up to 30. After killing 30 minions, increase its damage by an additional 120. So it sounds like at first it's mainly just a minion clearing ability, but really if you decide to use this in team fights once you build this up, especially because the more damage it deals, the more it heals you, that's probably going to be pretty handy. So a possible Empower Sulphurous build would go with that. There's a couple different builds you can go with here. There's Shifting Meteor. Hit 50 heroes with Living Meteor. After hitting 50 heroes with Living Meteor, its duration is increased to 2.25 seconds, and the ability can be recast to change its direction once per cast. Engulfing Flame, basically you're not going to want to build an, Blast Wave at all. At level 4, we've got Fireward. Living Meteor grants a spell block. Slow Burn, Blast Wave slows enemies. And Catching Fire, a quest. Gathering a regeneration globe increases your health regeneration by 2 per second up to 30. After gathering 15 globes, you can activate Catching Fire to gain resistance for 3 seconds, reducing damage taken by 25%. So that's going to help your survivability. And that's good if you want to get a spell block against a very ability-heavy team, like a mage team. At level 7, we've got Hand of Ragnaros. Reduce Empower Sulphurous' cooldown. If it hits at least 2 enemy heroes, it restores 10 mana, and its cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds. Each enemy hit by Living Meteor increases the damage of the next enemy by 50% up to a maximum of 75%. At level 10, here's where it gets interesting. His 2 heroics. We've got Sulphurous Smash. Hold Sulphurous at the target area, landing after 0.75 seconds, dealing 198 damage. Enemies in the center take 594 damage instead, and are stunned for half a second. And now that sounds cool, but here's the more fun one. Lava Wave. Release a wave of lava from Ragnaros' core that travels down the targeted lane, dealing 344 damage per second to non-structure enemies in its path, and instantly killing enemy minions. Damage is increased by 100% versus heroes. This ult is awesome. It is so cool. I mean, it's kind of situational. You gotta handle it right. But when I first saw it, I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was overpowered, and I thought it was a lot of fun to use. Sulphurous Smash, I'm sure, though, has its uses, but it was just more fun for me. At 13, we get a talent tier here that helps with his survivability. Cauterize Wounds. Empower Sulphurous healing is increased for an additional 60% of damage dealt to heroes over 2 seconds. Blast Wave gives a shield. And Resilient Flame. Gain resistant when stunned. So if you go up against a stun-heavy team, that's probably a good way to go. At 16, we've got Giant Scorcher. Empower Sulphurous deals extra damage to heroes. It burns enemy heroes for 9% of their maximum health over 3 seconds. This additional damage does not heal Ragnaros. Meteor Bomb. Living Meteor explodes at the end of its path. Blast Echo creates a second blast wave after the first. And then at level 20, we got some good choices here. Flames of Sulfuron. Sulfurous Smash slows enemies by 50% for 2 seconds, and the enemies in the center are stunned for an additional half a second, so a whole second. Lava Surge! Lava Wave gains an additional charge, and its cooldown is reduced by 10 seconds. That's pretty nice. Heroic Difficulty. Very, very nicely named. Molten Core has 50% increased health and damage, and its cooldown is reduced by 50 seconds. Let me also remind you guys, it has a 100-second cooldown, so you're cutting this in half. So that's, and then we've got Submerge, which is like an invulnerability. Ragnaros submerges below, entering stasis, and healing for 600 health over 3 seconds as a 90-second cooldown. It's okay, but, I mean, either of these is what I would go. Probably this, if you want to utilize this at its most effectiveness. So yeah, I experimented with the Meteor, Living Meteor build, but I want to try the Empower Sulfurous build. I think this could actually be a pretty effective build. So let's take a look at the Fire Lord himself in action. Huh, well now this should be interesting. Going on Blackheart's Bay here. You could actually use that to absorb some cannon shots when I think about it. It would seriously cut down the amount of time you could use Molten Core, but technically you could use it to absorb the cannon shots. Maybe like 1, 2, or maybe even 3 before, just like that, it's done.
Get ready for battle, you landlubbers!
So, let's see.
Allying with such
I want to try this. I want to try this build. See, I can activate it right now before I even leave the starting area here.
Alright, I'm giving you 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
So you see how he moves around here? Yep.
Grant no quarter.
Let's see. Ah, see, here's where Lava Wave really comes in handy. If you're gonna go up against someone that is good at lane pushing, like Zagara, I'll be able to use that to just completely nullify. Oh, it wouldn't just get rid of the minions, it would probably get rid of all that creep that she has in that lane. Oh, that would be so wonderful. Boom! Have a meteor! See what I mean? Blast Wave, not really that great.
Word is there's treasure on the docks.
Have a meteor! Boom! Alright, so I've killed 2 minions with... So you gotta kill the minions. You can't just hit them, you have to kill them.
Pop up your doubloon, and maybe I'll turn me cannon on your ball.
But it has a very... It only has a 4-second cooldown, so... You can use this a lot. Ah! Looks like he's got little wheels there. That's hilarious. I'm a meteor, Zagara. I love it. None can stop the living flame. Ragnaros, man, he's the Fire Lord. He don't care. It's like, get out of my way. You mortals.
This mercenary camp will fall before me.
Here we go, catching fire, so I can help my survivability and my health regeneration. I mean, it's not really often you can be able to have a assassin be able to increase his health regeneration. Boom. Ah. See, I have to wait until I can be able to. Boom. There we go. Killed him like that. I can get rid of that creep. That's good.
They're all paid up? Ah, let's get to the fun part!
Ah. Well, I'm halfway there. Oh, good. My team got the turn in.
Ha! You're cannon fodder!
Fear me.
Well,
Boom.
who's got the coin for me,
More?
services?
Reduce cooldown. Whoa, there's a bunch of them here. I should probably get away. Ah! Boom. There we go. 22 down. I'm a meteor. Boom. Instant attack. Boom. Ow. Kerrigan. That was just mean. Ooh. Ooh, blow, 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 blow. Alright, here we go. Watch this. Molten core. I said molten core. I was pressing the wrong button.
One less
Now see, the range on Q is actually not that great right now. Said, no, I got him. Boom. Where are you going?
Let's skip the first one. It's right there! Go grab it!
Only 5 more minions to kill with this. Obviously, I realize now that this would take a little while. It does restore mana, so maybe I don't really need to go back at the moment. Varian, stop getting my stacks. Ah. Alright, here we go. Lava wave. Watch this. I target the lane. Boom! Look at this! It goes all the way from one to the other. And it clears the whole lane. I think it got rid of that creep there. Oh, and you get XP for all those minions that died. Pretty nice, right? Hello, what is this? Ah, no. Ah. Oh, there we go. I completed the quest. Oh, my bots are doing a good job. Good job, bots! Now I just need to get 3 more blows.
As the old gods demand. we've reached an accord. Let's show your enemies a jolly good time.
Yeah. Oh, I missed it. Missed the creep.
Hero slain! Pirate! Triple kill!
You
know what?
possess a soul.
Kiss that fort goodbye!
Here it comes.
Cease fire! They want more!
Yep.
They'll need
There
to
goes
pay
all
up
that
first.
creep. Oh, look at all the
Kill
damage it
there.
does. Got Brightwing. It didn't get Zagara, but it does a lot of damage there.
Fear me, mortals.
Fear me, mortals. Get another turn in right here. Go.
As the old gods demand.
We're on, boys! Ha-ha! Let's liven up this place!
gods demand. Back.
Arg!
Use it back to back over and over. Oh!
That had to hurt!
Boom! Take that right way. Uh-oh. I'm probably in trouble here. Oh!
I think they've had enough!
Yeah, get Kerrigan there.
Killing spree!
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
Find these
Hey,
mercenaries.
bots, go get that camp. Look at my health regeneration rate. That's great for an assassin. Usually you only get that when you're playing as a warrior, like a tank, not an assassin. I love that. That's gonna make him, along with this, that's gonna give him so much more survivability. Constantly being able to just do that over and over.
Behold Ragnaros.
In fact, let's see how he does here when I start off attacking him. Obviously pretty effectively. No need for that Varian.
Behold Ragnaros.
You know what? Watch this. Silly bots, they're not gonna get out of the way. Here it comes! In fact, I can do this. And it got him! Watch this. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I keep pressing F instead of D. Oh, stun! Oh!
What good's a pirate without a little
Where are you
treasure?
going, Brightwing? Oh, man. And then Giant Scorcher. There we go.
Mayhem!
Yeah.
And there goes their king!
I could even take this one over right now if I had it available.
A good kill there!
You gave them what they deserved.
Go, Varian, go! Oh, I got Zagara! Boom! Woo! Too bad I didn't get to 20, but then again I was playing bots, so obviously it ended fast.
Yarr!
But at least you guys now have an idea as to why I enjoyed playing him so much at BlizzCon. And he's essentially the same, with maybe a couple of tweaks here and there, from how he was at BlizzCon. But yeah, I mean, I just love his kit, and I'll tell you what, that build with Sulfurous doesn't seem like a bad build. I mean, I've seen others like the Leaving Meteor build, and I liked it too. It was pretty fun, but I can definitely see the benefit of going with this Empower Sulfurous build. With the way it restores mana, increases your healing, and does even more damage. It burns away 9% of their health. I mean, that's obviously going to be good against a lot heavy health heroes. I mean, I think you may have seen it used against Johanna there. But yeah, Ragnaros, guys. He is awesome. Hey, look at this. Look at this mount version. Molten Flow. I really enjoy this guy. I'm really looking forward to playing him some more. I love his playstyle. I love his kit. I love the Molten Core trait. I think that is just so great. There are so many different ways you can use that, and how it can be able to affect the game when you use it can probably completely change the game. Obviously, if the enemy team is smart, they will stay away from his range of his Q ability. I mean, his W and E have global, I think global range. I'll have to mess around and experiment with that. But he's got a great kit. I think he's really fun. I haven't messed with Sulfurous Smash yet, but obviously I think that this is going to be very handy if you go against a team that doesn't really have any lane pushers. This is good if you want to counter lane pushing. But if you go up against a team that has a team fight heavy comp, this will probably be very handy to have. And whether you want to go with the Living Meteor build or the Empower Sulfurous build, I think either one is really good. I'm gonna wait and see how people think about this build compared to this build. But I really like this build. Obviously, I need to experiment with this more. But obviously, I'm gonna be wanting to play around and experiment with Ragnaros more. However, I do want to point out, him being added was not the only thing they changed. They did bring about some changes to certain heroes, including Artanis, including Diablo, including Dehaka. They buffed Bloodlust for Rhaegar. I'll go over those changes in a separate video. Obviously, one for each of those three guys. Dehaka, Diablo, and Artanis. I don't think Rhaegar warrants a new one, because all they did was just make Bloodlust better. But Ragnaros, man, I love his addition to the game here. And I highly recommend trying him out, playing him. He's a lot of fun to play. And we'll be taking a look at one of those guys when we come back. Stay tuned.